Joc Pederson, the newest left fielder for the Chicago Cubs, he is calling out the Dodgers. He wasn't too fond of how they were using him as a defensive player, so we're going to go ahead and break that down. But before we do, I want to say, welcome to MLB Recap Spring Training Edition. If this is your first time on the channel, do not be afraid to hit that subscribe button because we post these every single day. Now, before we talk about Joc Pederson calling out the Dodgers, can we take a look at this video from the Baltimore Orioles? I mean, everyone has been obsessed with spin rate. This guy doesn't give a you-know-what about spin rate, considering it's a knuckleball. I don't know who the pitcher is. I'm sorry. If you're an Orioles fan, you can let us all know in the comment section down below. But in the day and age of spin rate, this guy said, nah, I'm good. Also, I forgot to let you guys know, if you are a fan of the MLB The Show videos, there will be one posted later today. I faced Joey Gallo, my friend, and we were going for a flawless BR run, so stay tuned for that. Turn on your bells. Bobby Witt Jr., I've been talking about this kid for quite some time. I told you all to go pick up his rookie cards, and now it might be too late because yesterday he hit the longest home run in the StatCast era for any Royals player. 484 feet. He won the home run derby, the high school home run derby a few years ago. He is going to be a true five-tool superstar. I just don't know when he's going to make his debut because they have Whit Merrifield. They just signed Hunter Dozier to an extension, and Mondesi, in my opinion, is going to be a stud for a long time as well. So is Bobby Witt Jr. going to have to play outfield? I don't know. Now, the rest of the Royals got in on the action as well. Brady Singer with a fantastic start. We have Hunter Dozier, Carlos Santana, and Salvador Perez all going deep yesterday, which begs the question. I've been pondering this the last few days. Are the Royals going to be a sneaky powerhouse in the next few years? Because that lineup now, with the additions of Andrew Benintendi and Carlos Santana, if they get breakout seasons and they're able to call up and find a spot for Bobby Witt Jr., and maybe Brady Singer has a breakout year, I'm telling you right now, the Royals are way ahead of schedule. Now, the Mariners, ever since they have fired their former president, I don't even remember his name, that's how little I think of him, but he had a few comments saying that they were going to hold down Logan Gilbert, Jared Kelenic, and Julio Rodriguez to avoid starting their service time. Well, the Mariners now, currently, they're playing Jared Kelenic, they're playing Julio Rodriguez, and then Logan Gilbert 2 days ago K'd up 4 different Angels players, including the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Trout. This kid is going to be a problem. He is lengthy, and if you slow it down just a little bit, his arm looks like a slingshot, a whip. I'm telling you right now, just like the Royals, the Mariners are way ahead of schedule. Can you guys just let me have one day without being tagged in 800 different Mets posts? I get that Francisco Lindor is not on the Indians anymore. It's fine. Can we all get over it? Because, man, he had 2 base hits yesterday, and I got tagged at least 1,000 times over on my Twitter, @FuzzyFromYT. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk about Lindor and the Nationals because they were playing each other yesterday. But 3 different players, Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, and Trey Turner, apparently they're all in talks right now with their general management to get extensions. To me, Juan Soto is the biggest key. Is he going to get $340 million, $350 million? Is his contract going to beat out Fernando Tatis Jr.? Trey Turner, there's been a lot of talk about he's kind of following in the footsteps of Mike Trout because Mike Trout only stole 1 bag in 2020. Is Trey Turner going to steal less and less as he gets older? And then last but not least, Francisco Lindor. Is he going to get more money than Fernando Tatis Jr.? I mean, Tatis hasn't even played a full 162, whereas Lindor was the best shortstop in baseball for 4 or 5 years. So if we're doing the math, he should get more. So we've actually brought up Mike Trout 2 separate times today, and we're going to make it 3 because he struck out against Brandon Woodruff, who is very underrated, who could win Cy Young in 2021. Now, as soon as I was about to rant and rave about him, this happened.
Behind Trout, but he prefers still Rendon, who hits it far to right field.
Even though it's his first start. Upton sends that one deep. That is not coming back. Way out of here. Wow.
Anthony Rendon went deep. Justin Upton went deep twice in yesterday's game. I can't put my thumb on what we're supposed to expect of the Angels. For whatever reason, the baseball gods have been giving me hints and giving me premonitions that the Angels are going to make the playoffs. Maybe I've just been so deprived as a baseball fan of Mike Trout in the playoffs that I'm just kind of speaking it into existence. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of the year. Come on, Angels. gotta make the playoffs. One more Angels clip, Jose Iglesias. I mean, they lost out on Andrelton Simmons, who was probably the best defensive shortstop of my lifetime, but Jose Iglesias is no slouch. And also Tim Anderson of the Chicago White Sox, he laced up his cleats nice and tight. He showed some bunnies yesterday. He's got some hops. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those web gems. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about the Dodgers. Remember, Joc Pederson called them out. But before we do that, I have to show this graphic right here from my Twitter. What the heck even is this rotation? Your number 7 starter is Dustin May. Are you joking? And this is after they lost out on Hyun-Jin Ryu and traded away Kenta Maeda. Both of those guys that we just mentioned almost won the Cy Young in 2020. But I would say the Cleveland Indians are probably the best of the best in regards to developing talent in the American League. But then the Dodgers, they find guys on the side of the street. They just call them up and then they perform. This is insane. This should not be allowed. And everyone's saying, oh, the Dodgers just buy championships. I mean, not really. 5 of these 7 players on this graphic right now are homegrown players. So for everyone that is hating on the Dodgers, they're my 2021 World Series favorites, and most of them were homegrown. Corey Seager, Gavin Lux, all the guys in that rotation. Cody Bellinger, they traded for Max Muncy, so he's not homegrown, but still they're so good at identifying talent and acquiring it for cheap or free by drafting them. I mean, I commend Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers. They are the creme de la creme of franchises in MLB. Now, I guess the only person that might not think so is former Dodger outfielder Joc Pederson. I mean, he's been with them for so long. I remember I was working at PacSun in 2015, and he was on my fantasy team. I believe that he had 5 or 6 home runs in a week. He single-handedly carried me to a W that year. But for whatever reason, he decided to kind of take a little cheap shot. And I'm going to go ahead and read the full quote. He said, "I just felt a little bit restricted by the analytics. I think before I was more free going off more feel rather than analytics. I understand the analytics and I understand that they work. It's not a negative comment toward them because they've been successful, but I think I am just better off with a little bit more feel and being more athletic out there rather than standing in certain spots where they hit the ball the majority of the time." So that's just the way that the game is going to go. You are going to be positioned based off where the analytics suggest that hitter is going to drop the ball. It just makes sense, and I understand because I'm a former outfielder. I might actually be coming out with a video reacting to my highlights from high school and Little League, so if you want to see that, please let me know. But you're a professional baseball player. Guys are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to study the game and give you a scouting report. So if they say you should stand somewhere, it's probably a good idea considering the shift is also based off analytics, and that works out really well. Pretty much, 6 out of 10 times the shift is successful. I'm just making that number up, by the way. I don't know if it's 60% successful or not, but Joc Pederson, while I understand where he's coming from, probably not the best timing. Now, staying with the Chicago Cubs, Nico Hoerner is coming into 2021 with a whole lot more muscle on his frame, and he is looking jacked. He's leading everyone with 9 base hits, and then Javier Baez got in on the action as well with a monster home run to center field. So again, I keep saying this, the Chicago Cubs, if their rotation can even grade out as a C rotation, if they get comeback seasons from Rizzo, Baez, Bryant, I don't know why I forgot Chris Bryant. He's a Las Vegas kid. They could be good. So if we're talking about the Cubs, we might as well bring up the Indians because Andres Gimenez hit an inside the park home run yesterday. The center fielder did not catch it. And then Yu Chang, of all people, is up to 3 bombs already. He is leading the Cleveland baseball team. So to me, those are 2 guys to watch going forward. TJ Antone, another Ohio team. He's been great so far. He leads everyone in strikeouts in regards to starting pitchers. So they lost out on Trevor Bauer, but TJ Antone, he's no scrub. If you want to get a jersey that is kind of cool and hip, but no one really knows about it, TJ Antone might be your guy if you're a Cincinnati Reds fan. Now, these next few games and players I want to talk about, unfortunately, I could not find clips. That's the way the cookie crumbles for spring training. The Marlins lit up the Cardinals. Corey Dickerson goes 3 for 3, but then Dylan Carlson for the Cardinals has 2 RBIs. So for whatever reason, a lot of people are not really talking about Dylan Carlson, but he has the talent to be one of the better, maybe top 10 left fielders in all of baseball. I did not rank him in my top 2 for Rookie of the Year in 2021. A lot of Cardinals fans clown on me. He has the talent to win it, but I just think that Sixto Sanchez and Ke'Bryan Hayes, they're going to have better odds and better years. So that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. We're going to bring back a throwback segment. I call this day in MLB history. 8 years ago, David Wright became Captain America by hitting a grand slam in the World Baseball Classic. Enjoy the clip. Stay safe, guys.
The next 1-2. Swing and a